So HFC networks, one of the beauties of the HFC platform since we've deployed it, and we've heard so many times this week about not only how effective it's been for 30 years, but how it's going to be continued to be effective for another 30 years. But we have so many different levers to pull to add capacity to it. So without touching the inside plant, we can do things like activating or repurposing a 6 megahertz, or in Europe, an 8 megahertz channel. We can do service group decombines and recombines to shift traffic based on a lightly used versus heavily used service group, whether it's for video on demand or DOCSIS or some other service. We can increase the modulation density in the QAM environment from QPSK to 16 QAM up to 256 QAM, and then as we get into OFDM, we can go up to 1024 or more QAM densities. In the outside plant, one of the things that's been pretty popular recently is when you have one or two heavy users, a doctor or a businessman that's taken an abnormal amount of DOCSIS capacity is just string a fiber out to their house, put them on a direct fiber feed, and delever the DOCSIS network to let it do what it does well, which is oversubscription and balancing random data usage across time. We then get into things like various node augmentations. So you can do a segmentation, which is adding a transceiver on a existing node. You can add a new node and perhaps try to do it in a way that doesn't require any construction or very minimal construction at the expense of not being able to optimally balance your household's paths. You can add a new node, and you can also, as you add that node, design for future augmentation of both the existing node and the new node so that you have a future map to have a very well-balanced serving area that originally was served by one node that ultimately could be served by, for example, 4 nodes. You can add new nodes looking at peak data utilization balance versus just household balance. So if one side of your node maybe serves a college housing area that has much higher data usage than another side of the node that serves a retirement community, you could balance your node split based on data consumption instead of just on geography. And then as we get into distributed access architecture, adding remote PHY or MAC PHY devices.